Integrity is 25 this year, and it has been a very frustrating journey, starting during the Abacha regime and looking for exactly how to reduce corruption in Nigeria. We have struggled so hard and fought very hard through different, very civil ways in order to get the change to happen, but the change has not been forthcoming. So you can imagine my joy when all of a sudden, unexpectedly, there's a whole movement of young people who have decided that they're going to end SARS. Yes, never mind it is end SARS. We have to start somewhere and you have to take up some issue. But I'm so happy that it's relatable to the issue of corruption, that it's because of corruption in the forces, in the armed uniformed forces, that has led to the situation that created a SARS. And I'm very happy that the young people have shown that they have the capacity to stand up to that. That's more than we've achieved in 25 years. And this has our full support, certainly my full support, that finally we're seeing it. But you know, beyond the initial shock and denial that has followed the whole emergence of the movement, the next thing is that a lot of them have been feeling pain, guilt, and some even sorrow at what has been happening. But for me, that's like the honeymoon period. And I feel that the honeymoon period is getting over. And what you're going to find next is anger and frustration. Anger and frustration because they don't know how to deal with this thing that has arisen. And what African governments have tended to do is to respond with repression. And I know that you're ready for that. But we should not give up on the fight against bad governance. And the only way to ensure that you are one step ahead of all of this is to make sure that this is a movement that is understood by ordinary Nigerians wherever they are. I heard that in the north people are saying SARS is not our issue. Well, and that the military is their issue, insecurity is the issue. Maybe so, but this is the time for us to rise and make a clear statement that bad governance will no longer be tolerated. I am excited at this. Yes, for years we have tried. And now we're finally seeing those who are able to make it happen. For me, this is much respect to this SARS movement. But you know, if you are leaderless, and I know it is very important to be leaderless in order to make it very difficult to thwart the movement. The same way that when there were mainframe computers and dumb terminals following them, it was easy to just knock out the mainframe, and dumb terminals are exactly that. They're dumb after that. They can't do anything. As opposed to the internet, where everything is autonomous. So even if you knock out a few computers here and there, it doesn't mean you've knocked out the whole internet. You cannot knock out the whole internet. So it is a fantastic analogy, and it's a fantastic movement that we're seeing right before our eyes. And I'm sure you also have a plan for the next stage, because the next stage after the anger and frustration, who knows, it might not even be serial, it might be in parallel that they get into bargaining. They're going to try to bargain. For some, they'll try to buy them off. For others, they'll try to speak to them. But at the end of the day, who is going to be engaged? Is the movement going to transit into some kind of platform? A platform that is still within your control, but that can be engaged for discussion? And here's the positive about having a platform, because at the end of the day, you need to be able to discuss with them what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and what wouldn't be. I guess it can all be done on the pages of social media, but at the end of the day, there will still need to be some people that will be discussed with. The next step will be a level of depression when they find that even all of that is not working. And then they have to go into creating some kind of dialogue, experimenting what is possible, trying to find out what will be acceptable, and so on. They still have to go through that engagement. So whichever way we put it, either now or a bit later, there's still a need for dialogue. So at what point are you going to do the dialogue, and how will that dialogue occur? I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this is just to put out that until you get all the way to acceptance, which is still another like 5 or so steps away, it is important to keep it all together and know that you have a lot of supporters. You said we should Soros, okay. This is my own time. Muti Soros, okay.